I am going to explain the call document for the Government of Ireland International Education Scholarships. This scholarship is for international students, for you to study master's, postgraduate diploma, or PhD in Ireland. And it's funded by the Government of Ireland in partnership with Irish higher education institutions and managed by the Higher Education Authority, HEA. So we will have a look at the details of the scholarship and also the application process so that you can prepare for your application. These are the details of the scholarship. As already mentioned, it's for international students and it's for study full-time in Ireland for a period of 1 year. That means you cannot apply for a part-time program. You will have to be in Ireland to undertake your studies for 1 year. And this scholarship will select 60 awardees for the 2026-27 academic year. I hope you will be one of the 60 selected applicants, and I wish you all the best with your application. So the scholarship is for 1 year. You can either study a master's, postgraduate diploma, or PhD. And the scholarship will be awarded for study across all disciplines subject to the availability of spaces. That means there's no restrictions on the discipline or the course that you can apply for. The scholarship covers any field, any discipline, but it will be subject to availability of places. It will depend on whether the program or the course that you are looking for has available places or has available places for new students. But there is no limit in terms of discipline covered by the scholarship. This is the amount for 1 year of your study. You will also get tuition fee waiver through your institution, the institution that will admit you. This is what the scholarship will cover, and the contribution towards your cost and living expenses. They specifically mentioned that the scholarship will not be extended beyond 1 year. So that means when you start your master's, your postgraduate diploma, your PhD, you should complete within 1 year period. And you are expected to commence your study in September or October. You are expected to commence your studies either in September or October 2026, and you'll be living there for the duration of your studies. Let's look at the eligibility criteria, which is very important because it will determine whether you qualify for the scholarship or not. And it is your responsibility to check whether you meet the eligibility criteria. Let me explain what is required here. First of all, you should originate from a country outside EU, EEA, Switzerland, and the United Kingdom. You should be from a country outside of these specified countries. You should have received an offer of a place as an international fee-paying student in a full-time in-person course at an eligible Irish HE. Here it means that you have to apply for admission, get an admission. By the time you apply for the scholarship, you should have an admission. An offer of a place means admission from the university as an international student, fee paying student in a full time in person, because fee paying doesn't mean that you have to pay for the fees, okay? But you should have a place, and either one of the programs that we have already explained, master's degree, postgraduate diploma, or a PhD. And you should not have been previously awarded this scholarship. You should not be a Russian or Belarus Brazilian citizen. This is the eligibility criteria for this scholarship. And okay, they also repeat here, you have to have an admission before you apply for the scholarship. That means there's an appendix with eligible higher education institutions. That means not all the institutions in Ireland are eligible for the scholarship. You have to see Appendix 1 for the list of eligible institutions and then apply to one of those institutions, get an admission, get an offer, and then that is when you can apply for the scholarship. Because the scholarship has a deadline, it means you have to start for applying for admission now, because sometimes institutions take longer with processing their admission. Remember that at universities, processing of their admissions is independent of the scholarship. It has nothing to do with the scholarship. So they take their own administrative time when they're processing your application. That may take time. So if you start late, you may not be able to apply or meet the deadline for the scholarship. Blended courses are eligible only on condition that the awardee attend all in-person classes included in this course and live in Ireland for the entire duration. Okay, blended studies normally means when maybe a blended course is when it has online classes and in-person classes. It is only eligible for the scholarship if you will be attending in-person classes and you live in Ireland. Okay, before submitting your application on the system, make sure that you inquire directly with the HEI. HEI means higher education institution, universities that offer courses. You have to inquire about eligibility of your course. You have to check with the institution, with the university that you are interested in, if the course is eligible for the scholarship. You might be interested in a course and maybe it's not eligible for the scholarship, or they don't have places, they're not taking new students. To secure an offer of admission, candidates need to apply for admission to an eligible HEI as per that institution admission procedures. You see that they keep on repeating the admission part of it. You have to apply for admission directly with the university. It's an independent process from the scholarship. You cannot apply for admission through the application form of the scholarship. When you apply through the application form of the scholarship, you are applying for funding for the scholarship. You are not applying for admission. For admission, contact the institution directly or go to the institution website directly. Okay? And then this comes up again. You should have received an admission before you submit. Okay? Because you will need your proof of submission. You will need your proof of admission for you to apply for the scholarship. Okay, these are acceptable offer documents. These are the documents that they will accept from you, that come from your institution, from your university. An offer letter issued by the HE where the candidate has been accepted. Okay, and then I didn't want to read all, but let's read because it's important. An offer letter is an official document whereby the HU confirms that they have offered the candidate a place on one of their programs. The offer must be for the 2026-27 academic year. If, for example, you had previously applied for admission and gotten admission and did not get scholarship, you cannot use the same letter, you cannot use the same offer, or you have to ask the institution to upgrade it so that it can reflect 2026-2027 academic year. Okay, don't apply with an old acceptance letter. An offer email from the HE. You can the first is it's a letter or an email, and the email should also show that the course is for 2026-27 academic year. You can take a screenshot from the candidates from your portal on the HE's website. This form of offer is only acceptable if it confirms that the candidate has been offered a place on an eligible course for the 2026-27 academic year. So you have three options to show proof of your admission. It could be a letter, it could be an email, it could be a screenshot from your application portal. Okay? Both conditional and final offers are acceptable for the scholarship application. Since some institution prioritize holders of final offers during the scholarship shortlisting process, it is advisable to contact the institution directly to inquire about their approaches to this matter. So you don't necessarily have to have a final offer. You can get an conditional. Sometimes universities give you a conditional offer on the condition that you meet a certain condition. You can get a conditional offer or you can have a final offer that is acceptable for your scholarship application. Okay, the offer documents must specify that the offer was made. Okay, this is, they are repeating again, which indicates that this is important because they keep repeating uh this information about offers. Okay, pay attention to this information because it keeps popping up uh, over and over on the document. Candidates who have deferred their admission to 2026-27 must submit with their application a document issued by the HEs that confirm the deferral. Candidates who are already studying at eligible institutions, for example, as PhD students or master students in 2-year programs, must submit with their application a document issued by their H which confirms that they will continue their studies in the 2026-27 academic year. I think it's straightforward. This is for when you have deferred or when you are already in the program. And then so if you have previously deferred or you are already in the program, you still need confirmation from the university. The point here is to show that you are in the 2026-27 academic year. A maximum of one application per candidate can be submitted in the 2026 cycle of the program. Only one offer document can be submitted with an application. Should a candidate not abide by this requirement and submit more than one application, all their applications will be disqualified. Please pay attention here. You can only submit one application. Do not submit more than one applications. And then also for your offer document, you submit one offer with an application. You cannot submit two offers with one application. One offer, one application. Okay? Otherwise, you will be disqualified because you did not follow instructions. A preliminary eligibility check is included at the beginning of the application form. When you start your application form, you have to respond to these questions. After submission of the candidate's answers to this question, their eligibility will be automatically assessed in the system. Based on the questions, your eligibility will be assessed. Ineligible candidates will not be able to proceed to the rest of the application. So if you are not eligible, based on these three questions, unfortunately, you will not be able to proceed with your application. But eligible candidates will have access to the rest of the application form. If you are eligible, then you have access to the rest of the application. They will be able to fill in the remaining section and submit their complete applications. After the application deadline, this application will be screened for eligibility by the HEA and then shared with the relevant HEIs, who will conduct further eligibility checks. Candidate profile. This is who they are looking for. Ask yourself, am I the person they are looking for? Am I the candidate they are looking for? Do I meet this profile? Because they expect you to demonstrate a record of outstanding academic achievement, excellent communication skills, participation in extracurricular activities, for example, humanitarian work, politics, arts, or sport, a strong rationale for pursuing your studies in Ireland, and indicate how the scholarship would align with your long-term goals. There is an evaluation criteria. So there are some questions that you are going to answer, and you are going to be scored on those questions. Eligible candidates are invited to submit applications via the online application portal. You submit online for the scholarship. Applicants are advised to familiarize themselves fully with the evaluation criteria prior to making an application. The marking scheme is outlined below. Yeah, this is the marking scheme. These are the questions that I would suggest that you work on this question separately on a separate document before you start your application. Go and write the essays, have someone review. I can also review the essays for you. You can book through the link in the description. Write the essays, and then once you have refined them and they are ready, then you can start your application. These are the essays. The first one has 40 marks, 45 marks, 15, 15, 15, 15. I think in total it's how much? 100. I think it's about 100. I will not go in details on the essays, but you can write your essays and then submit to me. I'll be happy to review your essays. Book through the link in the description, okay? And then you have to get references, 2 references uploaded via the online application portal. It's 15 marks. Okay. The HE will not accept references submitted outside of the online application portal. You have to submit your references on the online portal. If you submit outside, that will not be accepted. You lose your 15 marks. The references must be recent enough to allow for an accurate assessment of the candidate's suitability for the scholarship. They must be dated at most a year prior to the 2026 call. So they have a specific requirement for your references. They should not be old. They should have a later date. If you have old references, go and ask your referees to update the date, okay, so that it can reflect that it's a recent references. They don't want vague or generic statement in your personal statement and in the description of your academic achievements and work experience, because such statement will just you get lower marks in the assessment scores. The application must be the applicant's own work. It is prohibited to have the application drafted by the third person or to include AI generated content. So avoid using AI or having another person draft the essays for you. This is the assessment and award process. I will not I'll quickly go through the award assessment and award process, but usually my main focus is on the application, because I need you to submit a strong application so that you can make it to the next round, okay? So applications that pass the preliminary eligibility check detailed in section 3, section 3, section 3. Yeah. Then you'll be screened. Then you'll be screened for eligibility by the HEA, and then then they will be shared with relevant HEIs, who will conduct further eligibility checks and shortlist them based on alignment with institutional, international, strategic objective. For example, country of origin of applicants, proposed study cycle of applicants, institutional capacity, field of study of applicants, okay? They have an independent panel of assessors to evaluate your application, and only applications that meet a minimum of threshold of 60 marks will be considered for a scholarship. So if you get below 60 marks, unfortunately, you will not be considered for the scholarship. So make sure that you aim for 60 and above. That is why you have to give it your all in those essays. Don't be generic, don't be general. Make sure that you use specific examples that would draw attention to you as a candidate, okay? And then the HE's decision on whether to award a scholarship is final. Due to the very large number of applicants, it is not possible to give feedback to unsuccessful candidates. Unfortunately, you will not get feedback. Okay, so here this is about assessment and award process. I don't want to go into details much details into it. I just want you to focus on submitting your application and also aiming for more than 60 marks. Okay, and then let's see the next section, submission of applications. You Potential applicants should read the call document. This is the call document. This is the document that they are talking about. It's called the call document. You have to read it carefully. You can read it at your own time. Here I just wanted to explain the application process to you, but you see that the document has more information. You can read it at your own time. So you have to read the documents, and then you have to create and submit your application online. The link to the official website is there in the description. Visit the official link, and then you'll find more information and forms that you need to download. You have to sign up and then fill in the application form, and you have to submit online. Okay, after you have submitted, unfortunately you cannot make any changes. So before you submit your application, make sure that you thoroughly check before you click submit. The deadline is 12 March. Like I said, you have to start your admission application right now, so that by March you have your admission. You cannot apply for the scholarship when you don't have an admission offer. Remember that. And then if you have any questions, you can send an email to this email address. There's information about your personal data. I will not get into that. You can read at your own time. And then these are the appendix. They are eligible higher education institutions, the universities that are eligible for the scholarship. For the most up-to-date version of Appendix 1, please see the document titled 2026. So you go here on the website and look for the 2026 GOI-IES Appendix 1 updated with the date. You will find eligible higher education institutions. And then referee guide. There's a guide for your referees. That's Appendix 2. Your referees should not just write a reference, just a vague, generic, irrelevant reference, because it will decrease your chance of success. So the person who is going to write to, remember, they need two references. Those two people, they have to follow the guidelines of the scholarship. Like, for example, they have to talk about your candidate profile. They should be able to explain how you demonstrate these criterias. And then the reference should be between 500 and 700 words and contain enough specific information to support the candidate's application. It is recommended that your reference should answer the following questions. So these are the questions that your referees can answer when they are writing a reference for you. It must be written in English. If you are more comfortable writing in another language, your reference must be translated and the translation notarized. You must also review the translated reference and send it to the candidate yourself. Okay, this is talking to the referees who are unable to write the reference in English. And then there should be contact details with postal address, organizational postal address, email address. Should this not be possible, for example, if you have retired and no longer have work email address, please provide your personal contact details and briefly explain why a work email is not available. So this is the information that you have to give to your referee. Okay, it's a referee guide. This information is not for you, it's for your referee, it's for the person who will be writing a reference for you. You have to send them these instructions so that they can write a reference that will follow the exact format or requirement for the scholarship. Okay, and then Appendix 3 is important information. The HEIs making this document available to applicants submitting an application, and the document must not be used for any other purpose. Okay, so this document is for you to get information about the scholarship. I will not get into that. And I think that is all. And then these are recommendation for successful candidates. For now, I will not read this. You can read at your own time after you have been successfully selected. Appendix 5 as well. Yeah, it's about your data protection. But what you need to focus on is how to apply for the scholarship, apply for admission, write your essays, get your references, and then submit your application. Okay, all the best with your application. Remember, if you need a review with your essays, please book through the link in the description. All the best.